I heard you had an opening that you wanted to throw.
Oh, really? An opening?
Like a comedy bit? Is this an open mic thing we're experiencing?
Testing some material on us.
What's the deal with airline food? How did people used to like mock or mimic comedians before Jerry Seinfeld? Because it's the quintessential like making fun of a comedian or referencing it.
Right.
Is to do a Jerry Seinfeld impression.
Jerry Lewis, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, yeah. That was probably... Is he dead?
Nope.
Nah.
Too bad.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Is he a piece of shit? Like, is he...
Oh, yeah. No, like that was only partially an act. Like,
right.
yeah. No, he was garbage. Or is garbage. Yeah.
I always hoped he was like secretly a nice person.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, can't win him any.
That's just wishful thinking.
So, Dave, do we have stickers left? No, do we have any stickers?
No, I don't think so. They came in like weird individual packs, and I found what I think is the last pack. But I've already gone through all of those. And we will not be using Sticker Mule. You know about that, dude?
Sticker guy, right?
No, Sticker Mule is the piece of shit.
Sticker Mule is the piece of shit?
Yeah. So if you don't know about Sticker Mule, look it up. He's just a piece of shit.
I guess Commonwealth can do them now, too.
Yes,
I didn't quite know that, so that's good.
Yeah, I've used Sticker Guy in the past.
Yeah, same.
Not Mule, though.
No.
I did use Sticker Mule sometime in the past. The only reason I remember is the order came with hot sauce. They threw in some hot sauce, which I at the time was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now I resent it. Like, fuck you and your hot sauce.
Yeah.
So I forgot. These are adjustable.
Oh.
So we don't have to like lean over. We can make them higher. There's 2 levels of height.
I'm actually going to move this pop filter out a little bit too. I think we were putting this a little too close. Because Nick, I think you do have like spiky hot pops. So
pee poo poo.
So yeah, it might make sense to put these back a little bit. Not right up against the...
No. Like that?
Yeah, I think yes. Like
mine's always right up against.
Does it matter?
Yours is the one that has the most pop.
So I shouldn't change my behavior. Is what you're
saying. Can you speak better?
50 episodes and you're asking for improvements? That ship sailed a long time ago. At least I'm not like super fucking baked anymore.
Yeah, I think we all learned that none of us really are at our best with this when we're baked. Like I realized I get too spacey and too slow. So I stopped smoking. And in fact, I started popping my B12 like an hour before we podcast for the last few episodes, just to make sure I'm like actually a little sharper.
I had some too.
So yeah, we're taking it a little bit easier. At least starting out. A little bit.
Yeah. You said a low dose edible. I mean, let's be real.
Just did 100 milligrams. That's all.
That's all I get. I get Instagram ads now for these like 800 milligram individual gummy edibles. It's like a pack of them that'll be like 15,000 milligrams. And like the ad will be like a person taking this little bite and then like half an hour later and they just look like they're going to fucking die, you know?
Oh, I thought they were going to try to pretend like they're out like playing volleyball or running or doing errands. Like, no, there's nothing else you're doing other than laying on the couch.
No, I don't. I'm about like 5 and 10 milligram edibles. Not like even 100 is like, no. It's like a paradoxical like thing though. Paradoxic isn't a word, but you know what I mean.
Now.
Yeah.
And if you eat one on an empty stomach, it'll actually not affect you. It's if you have like a lot of fat in your stomach, then that will crush you. Unlike other things where you think like, oh, if I take it, alcohol in an empty stomach is like good night.
Yeah.
PSA.
Yeah, good to know. That's what people are tuning in to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
So stop eating my lard snacks after eating an edible is what you're saying.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
They're so good when I have the munchies.
Your LARDibles. Your lunchables. all lard lunchables.
Holy shit.
And we're off.
Episode 51, LARDibles.
Hitting the ground running on that one.
Yeah, just like it's one-stop shopping. It's THC-infused fat cubes.
Oh.
It's like a boiling cube, but it's just...
Oh my God.
It's just lard. Chicken-flavored lard filled with weed.
Well, that's my Christmas list done.
You ever suck on a boiling cube?
Wait, are you saying boiling? Buoyant?
Yeah, I'm probably saying it completely wrong.
Yeah, I think it's buoyant.
I think it's boiling.
It sounds like you're saying boiling.
It's like gold
No.
bullion.
Yeah, it's buoyant.
Yeah, it's cougar.
North for sales. Yes.
North for sales. Duquesne.
No, I've never eaten one of those or sucked on one like a lozenge. Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Did you lose a bet?
No, I used to try to do it as a kid because I liked chicken soup, and I
Mhm.
thought like chewing on these things would be like the equivalent. It's a little potent.
Yeah, it's like a
Mm.
concentrated, dense
Yeah.
soup.
I used to drink. Well, I guess you can't really say drink, but I used to eat the OJ concentrate from the
Oh,
can.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I would
yeah.
just take a can opener to it and get a spoon.
The Minute Maid ones.
Yeah, and the Donald Duck and all that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Oh,
everyone's done
Donald
that. Yeah, I think everyone's done that though, because it's very tart and like strong
Mm.
because it's concentrate.
Remember like the OJ cartons at school, and they always tasted like they had some terrible chemical in them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
I don't think there was a drop of real juice.
Yeah.
in those
How did they make
things.
it that fucked up though? Like, because it tasted like it was like, oh, something is wrong in
Yeah.
this. You know,
I assume it's just all preservatives.
I bet
and-
you're right. Yeah, it's like 1970s stock they were still going through,
They got a good deal on it.
right?
Yeah,
What are we gonna do with all this World War II Tang?
and hardtack.
Shit, I haven't had Tang in a while.
Give
I
it
used
to the
eat the
kids.
shit out of that.
Same here. Yeah.
Drink rather, whatever, both.
I mean, I was like a young nerd and like was totally into space shuttle shit, and I wanted to go into space and be an astronaut and shit like that. And like Tang was just such an obvious thing that you had to drink all the time if you wanted to be an astronaut. That was like advertising that 100% worked on me.
Right.
Like associating Tang with going out into space, sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never actually made it to space.
I was gonna ask.
No, I've not. I've not
Even get
actually,
close?
Never been.
Oh.
I mean, I've jumped up in the air
Mhm.
and been slightly closer to space, but still, generally,
We're all in space.
we're all floating in space, man.
That is true.
Am I blowing your mind?
A little bit.
It's like that Flaming Lips song.
just not individually there drinking orange juice concentrates yet. Yet. Elon's going to get us there.
Oh, see, that's the thing that pisses me off. He's making space uncool.
Oh, he did.
Like, he's such a piece of shit, and everything he touches turns to shit. Leave space alone. Why was it him? Why couldn't it have been? And there's going to be some asshole. Why was it the worst asshole?
I just try to pretend that SpaceX and Starlink have nothing to do with him.
That's a that's a good
Yeah,
policy.
I just
yeah.
try to filter that out.
Like the real work's being done by nerds who have never actually met that fucking piece of shit.
Exactly.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I mean, he never started any of those companies.
No,
I mean,
not even Tesla.
he
Right.
bought his way into all of them.
That's so fucked up that he retroactively added himself as a founder.
Oh, yeah.
How you can do something like that is just like, I mean, power of money, but that's
Narcissism and money. Yeah.
like fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, I think the only thing he actually started that he's a CEO of was Twitter.
We got a SysEx dumpster related update. Related to that, we are no longer on Twitter, right?
Nope. We're on Threads now.
We are on Threads. So, I mean, it's a lateral shitty move, but at least it's not involved with fucking X and Twitter.
Yeah, it's same thing.
Yeah.
Scrolling wall of text.
Yeah.
Except Threads has much shittier threading right now, and I hope
Mhm.
they fix some of that. But, they'll get there.
Yeah.
I also don't care.
Same.
But yeah, we're over there. I didn't post about episode 50 because I'm good at marketing and promo. But, people get it. They get the gist.
And this that will be reflected in your year-end bonus as our social media manager. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. You're only getting like 2 turkey bouillon cubes.
I need an edit on this episode already. So
Oh, really?
this is my request to edit that. Because I
What?
did post about 50.
Again, all of this will be reflected in your bonus. Yeah, it's not looking good.
I think this is a good one, though, because I recovered. It's okay.
It's like an instant pivot. That was good.
Oh, jobs are hard. Yeah, this summer's been busy. We haven't recorded in a while,
Yeah.
as kind of happens in the summer.
It's been like 3 months,
Yeah.
so a lot has happened in the
There
2 to
has.
3 months. I do have to reflect on episode 50 before we dip into 51.
Please do.
I want to
Yeah.
apologize.
Oh,
Oh, what's this?
So episode 50, some people seem to have some negative responses to some of the things we were saying.
Wait, what that we were saying or you were saying?
Mostly me,
Because I feel
but
like everything I said was perfect.
I'm going to shift the blame to the collective me.
Oh, when you do something bad, it's we. When you do something
Right,
good, it's you.
right.
It's
Oh, I
about
see
the
what you-
bonus, isn't it? I'm getting this now. Okay.
But yeah, we had some harsh words regarding the things that were being shown off at Super Booth and such. And
Mhm.
we had some criticisms of the modular scene overall.
Yeah,
We were throwing
true.
around some harsh language, terms such as gimmicky,
Mhm.
redundant, overpriced and boring.
Mhm.
The grob factor.
Yes,
Wrong
yeah,
factor.
yeah.
Some people
Well,
were
who are these
offended by that.
Who are these people that were offended?
People
Oh shit.
on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, okay, that's serious.
So serious.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to stick to my guns and stand by it, but there was something I found just today that kind of made me reconsider my stance.
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone else has seen this. It's a new module from Crypt Modular, brand new. It's called the Hurricane.
Hmm.
No?
Not familiar.
Not familiar with it, no.
It's a new fidget spinner based module
Okay. Okay.
that is just so innovative
Yeah.
and not gimmicky or boring at all. And I stand corrected. So I apologize to anyone that I offended.
Yeah.
I mean, this is peak Eurorack.
Right.
all
Right.
right.
Yeah. This
Fidget
is what we.
spinner
This is what we
module.
signed up for.
This is what it's all about.
Right.
If only synth engineered geniuses like Bob Moog, for example, could have envisioned a product like this, maybe Moog wouldn't be, the shithouse of a company that it is currently,
Yeah.
squeezing out overpriced, redundant dog shit like the Moog Muse.
So let's make sure that we're summarizing here. You're suggesting if Moog had come up with the fidget spinner module,
Yes, the Hurricane.
it would have saved the company.
It would have saved the company.
That is
It would
a
still
bold.
be here today,
Yeah.
full of innovation.
There's no arguing that. Yeah.
Not cranking out this Muse shit.
Yeah. No one gives a shit about that.
I like
Yeah.
the Muse. That's one of the better things I think they've made. But I'm glad you didn't apologize. Really, I was getting fucking worried. I was like, he's gonna really go back on it.
No.
No, double down.
Yeah.
Rob is at an all-time high. Fuck what you heard.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Grob Summer.
No,
Fuck
it
Brad
is.
Summer.
And the Muse does look good, but it's $3,500 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
I-
falls right into the redundant, overpriced category of the Grob factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sticking by it.
I don't disagree with that.
I think things are not in the best of places right now.
Wow. That was a real plot twist. I was really on the
Yeah.
edge of my seat there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You had me.
a twist by M. Night Shyamalan.
No, I think you're right in that way. I think things are in a strange state. I think you're going to see. I think we talked about this before. High end will get higher, and like there will be I don't know. There's a lot that's been done already, and I don't think fidget spinners are the way out. People want to make shit. That's great, but at a certain point, when that gets the focus, it's almost like
But that's like made for Instagram gold. Like that
True,
is the
true,
shit that is just like it's going to catch your eye. It's going to get the views. You may end up knowing someone who went out there and like got one and put it together, used it for an afternoon and then got rid of it. There's just like absolutely nothing worthwhile about having that other than it is a
Yeah.
novelty for an afternoon and maybe record a video, put it on Instagram and then it's done. Like that's it. That's the full
Right.
life cycle of something like that. Fucking stupid.
Meanwhile, there's been like mixers. They've been some of the best mixers ever have been coming out lately, and it's like a weird thing.
Because there was like, who's the Geiski or who's the guy who makes the weird, who used to
Oh
make
yeah,
the,
Geiski.
yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
but like those, I felt like there's a weird dude making weird stuff and that's his thing. And you never got the sense that it was just like doing it for the likes or doing it for the numbers. It was just
Right.
like, I'm a weirdo. Here's my shit. You can buy it if you want, or here's the schematics. There's something even more offensive about that fidget, because I saw the video for that fidget spinner
Oh, so
module.
you have seen this already? This was all new to me. I stumbled upon it this morning. I was like, really, dude?
Instagram like multiple times. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you showing me this? This is so stupid. Like, contact Mike, I assume.
Yeah.
It's something. It doesn't
it
look
goes.
very.
"Vrrr."
Yeah, and there's like there's like one output. It's not even like go and take your dumb idea and go to the next level and like put a motor behind it
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
not even like CV controllable.
No,
There's
you
no motor.
just-
It's literally a fidget
Wait,
spinner.
it makes audio?
Yeah, it's an oscillator-ish, like sound source, if you want to call
Yeah.
it that. I guess is a more appropriate term, using a fidget spinner.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not even as
Yeah.
creative as some of those like weird Geisky like things that he made, or like there's other weird modules and like modular musical thing with the tape head and the contact myself. Like those are actually usable.
Yeah.
This is just fucking stupid.
Someone makes like that fan oscillator, but it's,
Yeah.
I think it's Geisy's, but it's actually like cool, and I think it's volt per octave to some extent. Like you can
control the
music
motor
with it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between novelty and gimmick.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is
100%.
pure gimmick.
That's exactly it.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Capital G in the grob.
I actually forget what does GROB stand for?
Gimmicky,
Gimmick?
redundant, overpriced, boring.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
High grob factor on that.
High
one.
grob
Maybe
factor.
the peak. Maybe there is no higher grob at this point.
I don't know how overpriced it is. It may not meet the
It's
O.
$100.
It's O. Yeah, actually, never mind. You're right. It meant the O.
Yeah.
That's too much for something that's stupid.
Right.
That you will get not even an hour of use out of.
Yeah,
There's better use
true.
for that money.
Truth. Ugh.
All right. Well, that out of the way. What's But yeah, we were talking about travel. Yeah. So this has been a busy summer. So apologies for the lateness of this episode. We've all been doing shit.
Yeah.
Which is rad. I mean, it's summer.
Yeah.
But yeah. What's on everyone's lists for this
We
evening?
go around the table. Got a couple things.
What you got?
We kick it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mentioned mixers, and I did. I didn't talk about this last time. I don't believe. Got a board brain Exelon.
Nice.
Which I would say is the best, not just Eurorack, but the best mixer ever that
Mhm.
I have used, because it can seamlessly integrate line level and Eurorack shit like perfectly. There's no noise, there's no bleed. That thing is fucking awesome. It is so simple. It can do pretty much everything that the WMD mixer can do, but is almost like half the price and has some expanders. And I would argue has a much better layout than the WMD. It maybe has a couple less channels, but
It's a bold
it's
claim.
way more than
Yeah.
I need. Yeah, no, I stand by that too. The WMD one is like $1,700 for the Mark II.
Yeah.
And this was more like $8, I think.
That's even cheaper than the Zermixa, which I got.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, how does this compare to the Zerm Mix?
I think
Dave's favorite.
I was thinking about that on the way here, actually, on the drive here.
Yeah,
And the
cage
Zermixa,
match.
Zermixa's got a lot of, I think, cool features that none of the more analog ones do. Like they can do like even surround shit now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like a lot of cool stuff they add. I like the configurability, how you can have the colors set up on the Zermixa. Like I was actually thinking on the way over, those would be the two top for me, because the Zermixa seems maybe even a little more geared towards performance. I think it was Joe Soso, always forever band, who mentioned that the levels on the Exelon were a little too, like it was hard to get some Eurorack stuff low enough. And I think I know what they were talking about. Like some things it's hard to get it if you want it to just have like move the mixer all the way or the fader all the way up and have it like be where you want it to be.
Mhm.
Some things are so hot that you're not going to be able to attenuate the gain down enough so that you can like slam the fader up. But I think they kind of had to do it that way to keep the noise low and to accept like line level and Eurorack stuff so well. And it actually kind of teaches you, I think, a bit about the levels of some of your modules and what they're outputting and some of your gear along the way. And I don't need a mixer where I'm going to like slam faders up, or you could, use an attenuator outside of it if you really needed to have that happen. But I don't. And like all the channels are stereo. There are no like mono channels. I just think it's like been a pleasure to use. It has lit mute buttons, which I've always wanted from fucking a mixer, and like most things don't have that.
Yeah.
I like to be able to look over and see which things are muted. There's no weird alignment with the channels like on the Frap Tools mixer, where it's like the channel's up there, but then the sends are kind of crisscrossed, and then the like channel faders down there, and you never quite know what's mapped to what. This is just like very clear vertical lines of like all the channels.
Is the mute a button?
Yeah.
So that's my one complaint about the Zermixa, which and it does have lit mutes, but it's a toggle.
Oh,
which is a little less
Forgot about
playable than I would have preferred they went with a button for that.
especially with it's just an LED button, so it's just like on the button. It's so nice in that regard.
Do you have like aux outs or sends or anything?
It's got 2 full stereo aux sends and returns.
Oh, nice.
With separate return levels that you can tweak. It's kind of the perfect mixer for me. I would get rid of every other one. I think it's the live set mixer. Even if I was just using line level gear, I would still put that in a case and use that thing.
Oh, nice.
And it sounds like really good. They did a great job with it.
Do you have CV control over anything? Can you use it like a VCA?
CV control over all effects levels on every channel. You can use it as a VCA too.
Can you set, one of the things that I like about the Zermixa is you can have an envelope coming in, assign it to that channel, and then the fader is scaling.
Oh.
Yeah, so like it's you basically still have that coming in, but you're if you go all the way down, it's off, and as you slowly bring it in, it's scaling with the CV that's coming in.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet. I don't remember how it behaves.
If that's an option, I think it's that would be pretty awesome, because I know I use that a lot now on the Zermixa, especially I've been using it for live, like these live, like a couple of live sets recently.
Yeah,
relying on it heavily. It's nice to be able to actually like have that CV coming in, using it like a VCA, and then but also mixing it and going all the way down to 0.
Oh, nice. That is cool. Yeah, there's also a pan control that you can have a button to turn into a crossfade too. So if you have 2 mono things, you can crossfade between them with that instead of pan them in the stereo.
Can you send CV to that? That's one of the things on the Zermixa, and then obviously I'm going to just keep comparing it to that. You can set CV to pan any channel based on the input that's coming in.
Oh, that's really cool. See, it has a lot of that. Like there's no menu on the board brain, but with the Zermixa, you have so much configurability like that.
It is a little menu divey because of that.
You can CV the balance control.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep.
We can re-record that, and just from here on, you can answer that right now. Just like pretend like we didn't have that last like minute of conversation. Just be like, yes, Dave. Yes, it can.
Yes, Dave. Yes, it can.
Oh, that's good. That's a good feature. I use that a lot in the Zermixa.
No, we got to keep all of that in, and this word I'm saying now.
Yeah. So wait, how many channels total is it?
What is it? 6 stereo.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And you don't have to use either of those for the returns either, which is nice.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, there's separate return jacks on the right. I like too that like all the jacks are kind of separated out. You have the middle area with no jacks that you can mix with, and all the inputs on the left and all the outputs and FX stand return are on the right.
Oh, so it's not going across like the top.
No.
That is really fucking nice, because the again, Zermixa, it's all across the top, which is fine because it's kind of out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
But it would be nicer if it was just all the way on the left and all the way on the right. Basically, there's a big clump at the top of that mixer because of it.
And you get there's a stereo mix A and B, and you can pick for every channel whether it goes out of A, B, or both, which is really dope.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
So you can do like kind of a bus mix or like 2 stereo outs, which is really sick.
Are there expanders for it, or is there just that basic?
Yeah, there's a ton of expanders. You can get direct outputs for every channel. On TRS, you can get they have a ton. They have DB25 connectors, I think. You can use like, the big VGA type ones. A few others that I'm forgetting too. I hope they do more. I hope that new Optics V2, it would be awesome if there was like some behind the panel connection for that. So it just like went out of those outputs without cables. That would be like kind of fucking sick. I don't know how they would do that quite, but I'm excited to see if there's some integration with that.
Oh, that's really cool. That sounds like a very versatile mixer.
Yeah. Complaints? I have no idea why, but you can probably see it here. All the effects knobs that are gray, they have like a white indicator on them.
I can't see that.
You can never see.
Yeah,
you gotta paint especially that. Like the gain knob is like perfect for the balance. So I don't quite know. I wish they would just make ones with black indicator.
Yeah,
I can never fucking tell if the effects are on or not.
Yeah. Swap them caps.
Yeah, probably going to. I got to figure out like what type they are.
Looks like IntelliGel style knob.
Yeah, they might be.
But they might be like that reverse post. You gotta pop it off to see.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, other than that, I fucking love it.
That's kind of amazing if that's like the biggest complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's great. No complaints. Yeah, other than the fucking gray thing.
That's a pretty minor criticism overall.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I couldn't be happier with it. It really like especially the thing I guess I kind of was hoping for but didn't quite expect was just how it just plugging in a line level synth and having it feel like part of your modular. Like usually there's some fucking around or using like an external input on my IntelliGel case. You don't need to do that at all. You can just go through these inputs as they are, and it's just like, and the noise isn't bad at all. Like it's cleaner than even the Frat mixer. It's probably the cleanest mixer I've ever had.
Yeah, because I have plugged in line level into the Zermixa, and then basically had to transpose everything else modular down.
Oh, okay.
And you can set those ranges. And then you can also add a little boost to the line level ones that starts adding a little bit of noise. It's pretty good. It sounds like the Exelon though just nailed it perfectly without any tinkering or fucking around.
Yeah, for not having, they could have done more with like the levels if they would have had a menu or something like that, but I'm glad.
Can you achieve saturation?
That I would say is another maybe weak spot. And I think people on the Discord were mentioning that too. The Frap was really good at that. You could saturate it with that. This like kind of breaks up almost. It sounds good. I love the sound quality of it, but you can't push it quite the same way. But it has a nice peak LED indicator too, so you don't have to like run into that.
What other modules do they have? Like what else have they done?
They did the first optics, which was the ADAT thing that came out for a while. They had another one that was like an effects send thing or like pedal integrator kind of thing.
I think it had an envelope generator or follower built into it, if I recall.
Because they make like those desktop boxes too, that like big pedal patch bay thing.
Okay.
It's like octagonal or something like that.
So that's where their expertise is in that signal routing and
Seems
control.
like it. Yeah, it's a good point. So they do have a lot of experience getting that shit to work. Yeah, so that's my first one. Who's up?
I can go next.
Dave,
Do it.
take it away.
Give me the mic so I can take it away. My first thing, probably not a surprise to anyone, Polyend Tracker Plus.
Yay.
I guess my first comment is this is kind of what the tracker should have just been from the beginning.
I figured that was coming.
That was my take when I saw it, and I'm glad that I still don't have one. So I've been excited to hear your take on it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that echoes my initial opinion of it.
Yeah, this is across the board empirically better in every way.
Nice.
It is more pricey, but I think what it adds justifies the cost, and also just shit's more expensive right now. But yeah, it's stereo across the board. It's the same workflow. So if you have all that muscle memory that you may have developed with the tracker, 100% applies. Still same workflow. A couple of improvements here and there that I think they added to the Mini that have now been put into the Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question. There's nothing like there are no new buttons. It's like the same form factor as the first
100%.
one. Okay,
it's probably even the same enclosure.
Right.
It's that similar. Like
That's
it's
smart.
really, it's no changes to form factor whatsoever from the original tracker. I'm not complaining about because I've been using the shit out of it. So I didn't want there to be new stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't gravitate towards the Mini is because I'm like, no, I need all that shit they got rid of on the Mini. I use that. I don't want that.
Returned the Mini. Like,
Oh, that's right. You had one.
I bought it twice, and I bought it, and I was like, I'm not jiving with this, and then I sold it, and then before I went to France, I was like, well, I want to take something small that I can jam on. So I got one again, and while I was over there, I gave it a second shot, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't the tracker that I know and love. You know, I mean, it's like it had some extra features, which is why I grabbed it, but no, I like the OG form factor the most. I like my jog wheel. I like the pads.
Yeah, I can see the pads being crucial.
They're super useful. I would have trouble using it without those pads.
Right.
I go to them all the time. So yeah, I think you would 100% love the Tracker Plus. It's worth saving up some money and getting one. So there's a couple of things they added. The big thing that aside from stereo is the synth engines that they added, and they go from why did you bother to possibly useful. And I get it. This is general purpose musical instrument trying to appeal to a lot of different people.
Well, it had
just
some
steal
FM
plats.
stuff in there, right?
What's up?
So I think some of them kind of were,
okay.
right?
So I'll start from the beginning. The first one is the ACD. It is a single virtual analog oscillator.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It sounds like shit. It's just fucking boring. It has no character, it has no life. Why did you bother? Like, I get it. This is me being a jerk. Somebody else is probably like, that's my favorite one. I get all kinds of whatever you're trying to make. It's probably great for that. Please do not at me or send me what you're making. I don't want
Please
to
add and send him stuff. Weird shit.
The next is FAT, F-A-T. It's a slight upgrade. It's the 3 oscillator virtual analog. It has spread and chorus into tune, so it's got a little bit more character. Where the ACD was a F minus, this is a D minus. Really, never. I don't see ever using it. Then it changes up. There's the VAP. I don't know.
Vape hits.
Vape hits.
Fat vapes.
Dank is vape hits.
It's a dual oscillator with a mod matrix, and so the different processing that you have through this mod matrix does allow for some interesting sounds. This is not going to replace anyone's synthesizer.
Right.
This is the sort of like, if you want some ambient sounds in the background, or you want to liven something up. Then the one that I'm actually kind of been using a little bit here and there is the WTFM, which is Wavetable FM.
Which comes right out of braids.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. It's really interesting. It makes some cool sounds. They're still using that interface. So it's a lot of bars. It's a lot of, you gotta page around a little bit like that. It's not the friendliest way to program a synthesizer or synth voice. That's a little bit of something I would maybe put in the close to a con. That said, though, once you get it going, it then becomes easy to integrate into one of your tracks. One of your tracks can then be the synth track. You've got then the controls that you're accustomed to with notes and effects, and you basically treat it like any other instrument that you've had in the past. The Wavetable FM it's a 2 operator wavetable with like different feedback options. You can get some really interesting sounds out of it, and you have all of this modulation routing that you would typically have in a track with LFOs, envelopes, route them however you want, and it's the same sort of quickness to route them that you had in the past on the tracker. Yeah, I think that one's one I can see actually using. The last one is Perc, P-E-R-C.
Yeah.
Oh god, it sucks.
No.
It's a bummer.
No.
It's really boring.
That's what I was excited
It's
about.
basic as shit. It just, like, if you want an 808 sound or a 909 sound, it'll give you that. It's not Stomper. Maybe I need to play with it more. Maybe I need to like dive
So
into
it's
it.
emulating like analog drums?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. I was
really
kind of hoping there was like some digital
There's a
FM
couple of
drummy things.
there's
going
digital
on there.
stuff, but it sounds like dance. You're gonna get a dance kick drum out of it.
Can you use the other ones in like a percussive manner?
Oh, absolutely,
with
yeah,
the way
'cause
the
you have-
envelopes are and stuff.
Yeah, you still
Okay.
have envelopes. So actually, that's one of the things I was using the WTFM for.
Gotcha.
It was great for snares. It was great for like the weird little IDM-y sounds that you want. It was perfect for that. Perc, barely touched. I mean,
What kind
I
of hi-hats? What kind of hi-hats this got?
well, there's
What kind of crash cymbal? Can I do a full drum machine is what I'm getting at. Or is it only like emulating kicks or
you're
kind
talking
of
about
like
the
a
Perc?
Yeah, any of them.
I guess like maybe that is something to discuss is if you were looking to the synth engines to get away from using a lot of samples.
That was one of my main intentions.
That switches things up a little bit here.
Can you layer them at all?
Yeah, you can. I
Okay.
mean, you can do some layering across tracks because now.
Oh, like on the same track.
No, they would be separate tracks, and they're now 12 tracks. I'm sorry, 16 tracks instead of 12. So your layering options are a little bit better. If you were, I don't know if I would buy this for the synth engine.
Yeah.
It's really mediocre.
I'm buying it for the tracker sequencer.
That is
You
that's
know?
still great.
Yeah.
And which I was using with external devices originally. Because
Would also
personally,
be
I don't
great.
like to use samples too much. So I was
Right.
MIDI controlling things via the tracker.
Mhm.
The first time I had the OG one. This time around, I was hoping that it would be an all-in-one solution. Like instead of having to sequence an
Yeah.
external
Mhm.
machine, the new synth engines and perc engines would be versatile enough that it's an all-in-one drum machine with a really robust sequencer.
So your mileage may vary. I'm putting out there. I don't think that will
Okay,
be what you're getting out of it.
gotcha.
Again, it's like, why can't they just? I know you just want some Platts channels, like load up the
Right.
Platts on
Yeah.
each one, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. And the Wavetable FM is a really interesting synth. I think that's the one that they nailed. But I don't know if it's as versatile as what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's this may not actually hit the mark the way that I thought it was going to for you. I'm the opposite. I'm mostly loading samples in, manipulating samples. And the samples are from my modular. So I'm taking sounds that I made, loading those in, and then doing stuff with those.
Yeah.
So I'm already, the samples I'm making, I have an ear towards how am I going to use this in Tracker, and how are they going to, like, what am I going to do with that?
Fair enough.
Do you do much granular shit on that? Can you, like sweep a little window or something of a sample? You know.
Oh yeah, you have control over like the start and end on playback.
Mhm.
And it sounds kind of cool, but it's not that granular synthesis that you might be craving from a more sophisticated engine. I think that's what I keep coming back to is this is not a sophisticated synth engine.
Like, it makes me think, I hope they keep iterating on it over time as more like power becomes available. Because imagine if you had like just throw fucking VCV rack on there too, and like use it virtually and just like target that shit with it. That would be cool, and have like crazy effects and granular shit.
There may actually be enough power in the machine because they did do a lot of upgrades to the hardware for this, and they may just have not spent the time to do and make interesting things. This may be here you go. Here's the stuff that someone who just wants to sit and make dance music in their room, it'll probably satisfy them. But if you're really trying to crack this thing open and make some interesting sounds, I don't think it's there yet. But they are constantly updating it.
I wanted it to be my electron killer.
No, it's no.
You know, something I can throw in a bag, take anywhere on the road, lay down some weird beats, you know, all in one little fun box that isn't an electron. You know,
100% where you see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is not that.
Okay, fair enough.
Not saying it won't be someday. And honestly, I think maybe this is just the way that I use it, and what I was looking for out of it didn't get that at all.
Gotcha.
I do like when I saw that video for the Mini that I talked about the other day, and it was like appealing from the person that was using a Fast Tracker 2 on a 386 like I was in like the 90s. Like it's when I view it in that light, I'm like, oh, that thing's fucking awesome. You know, it's like crazy that it exists. But to your point, like it would be so much cooler if it could like go to that next level.
Yeah. It's not that next level yet.
Yeah.
In my
Still,
opinion.
Sounds like they added a ton of good shit. Like it's the real first version kind of in a way.
Step in the right direction.
It 100% is, yeah. And I'm on board. I want to see what they do with it.
I can't wait to see what Ben Jordan does with it.
I mean, is he going to be able to in his farm, or what did he buy?
Oh yeah, he bought the dankest, fattest farm, making sick beats.
Is it a farmhouse made of polyend plays?
Yeah, no, he bought a whole ass dilapidated farm, turned it into a studio, and replaced the studio that he had like just built a couple years ago from scratch. Yeah.
I kind of stopped paying attention to him, honestly.
So did I until I saw the farm video pop up in my recommended on YouTube, even though I unsubscribed from him. YouTube still likes to recommend me his shit. And that popped up, and I was like, all right, I'll take the bait. I'll click on this and see what the fuck he's talking about. And yeah, no, he bought a farm, and he thinks he's going to raise chickens and farm beets.
More power to him.
Yeah. A little weird, but okay, man. Weird flex.
Yeah.
But okay. And he fired the groundskeeper that had like been taking care of the place for like decades or something. Yeah.
That's not a good look.
And he was too cool to wear a helmet on an active construction site. Like he had some deal with some contractors, and they're like, "Oh, cool. I guess they gave him a discount if he agreed to do video during the process." Because they found out, he was a YouTuber with a lot of following, so he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then like he got annoyed that they wanted him to wear a safety helmet, so then he he asked to take the helmet off, and then like they just scrapped the video
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he was that self-conscious about having to wear a helmet. I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah, for their standpoint, it's like, here's a video of an OSHA violation.
Yeah,
that we
exactly. They
permit
don't want that
at our
recorded.
construction site. Goodbye, business. Wow.
And there was also, I don't know why he would even keep this in the video, but
Right?
in the middle of the video, there was like this part where he was talking about like selecting his desk and how he went through like this whole, hyper-focused, trying to find the right desk. And he ordered this really expensive desk because he decided this was the right one. And then took forever for it to ship, and he had to go back and forth with the company. And then it finally arrived, and they refused to deliver it to his door. They delivered it on the street. And he had to have these contractors that were building his barn help get it up there. And then they opened it up and it's all damaged. And then he wouldn't get, they refused to refund him and all this, just the whole spiel.
Wow.
Turns out it's a $300 desk that he could have found on Amazon that he overpaid through some third party that essentially was a drop ship company. And that's why it took so long for him to get it. Because it was a drop ship company, and they like ordered this shit from China, and they got like $1,000 profit off of him. And refused to refund.
And this is all in the video?
Yeah, and he kept all this in the video. I'm like, you just got scammed, bro, and you're keeping this in your farm.
I guess content is
video.
content.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Damn.
It was again weird flex
So weird.
to brag about your shitty Amazon desk that you paid 3 times the value of.
Wow.
Only for it to be junked.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Holy shit. Get a big noise table, bro.
Guess
Yeah,
them
seriously.
Pollyan dividends are really coming in handy, I guess.
No, I second that though. Just get the noise table.
Yeah.
It never fails.
So cheap.
Yeah.
Configure them how you want. I don't know.
Yeah. So Greg, what about you? What's on your list?
I don't have much. I haven't
You
purchased
didn't
anything new.
you didn't do your homework is what you're saying.
I did homework. I have some shit here. I just don't know if anyone cares. Because I didn't buy anything, so I'm just kind of speaking from like a window shopping perspective. There's a few things on my list because currently I'm doing some studio overhauls. I did not buy a farm.
Poser.
But, yeah,
Fucking
I'm
poser.
a poser. But now that the album is done and being pressed and all that shit, I wanted to do some change. I didn't want to do any major changes while it was actively being recorded and such. So now that is done, my next focus is on live performance. So I decided to kind of downsize my studio significantly, and I'm going to try to put that money towards some portable, fun performance devices.
Okay.
And that's going to be my sole focus. And for one, I do want to record new stuff or tinker right now. I'm just sticking to mostly in the box VCV rack sort of things. But on my hit list,
Stragas.
no.
17 Stragas.
17 Stragas in a Velcro suit.
Well, the Polyend Tracker Plus is at the top of the list. I
Okay.
feel like my live set is going to center around one of those.
I can see that.
Some other devices that caught my eye are the landscape devices.
Oh, okay.
I'm still really interested in the Noon.
Wait, which one's that?
The passive drum machine.
That does look cool.
Did you play with that at NobCon?
I very briefly did.
Right. It was brief, but it caught my eye then, and it still kind of has my eye now. Every demo that I've heard of it so far, I kind of dig.
I was underwhelmed by it. Maybe I'm just being a jerk. I really was
It's
excited
not-
about it.
no,
It was really
it is kind of one tricky and underwhelming.
that
but
was a thing. Was it all of the sounds, even with there was a pretty limited palette
It is
based on what it could do, and I was like, these sounds are okay. I just hate that basically everything sounds the same. It was way more limited than I was hoping it was.
I kind of like that though, and I kind of like how you can get a little weird character out of it depending on like, it's just like it seems very touchy.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think it would be interesting to play around with that and then dump some of my recordings of that into a tracker and slice it up and
that'd be cool.
and kind
yeah.
of do that. Play with that live with some sliced tracks of it on the tracker at the same time, so I can like layer it up. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Also, they just released something this week called the Ferris, I believe it was
I
called.
didn't see that.
It's a spinning magnetic polyphonic string resonator.
Ooh.
It's like this little device that you can use to basically play strings or other weird things. It has it's battery powered. I want to test it out on some devices that I think would be fun to mic up live and kind of use to generate drones.
So it's different than just a pickup.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't really pick up anything. It's weird to explain. You kind of have to see the video. It has this spinning magnetic disc that you can put on the strings, and it'll kind of play them for you, and
just vibrate them though,
like EBO style kind
of.
of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess,
it caught my eye. I think it would be fun to use that on a few devices, not just strings. I want to try it on some metallic things,
right.
As a resonator.
How big is it?
Tiny.
Okay.
So most of their stuff seems very small, very portable, and passive or battery powered.
Yeah.
So they're really appealing to me from a performance travel perspective. And then just I think along with that, I have some pedals in mind that I would like to use for effects and looping.
Yeah.
Mostly Chase Bliss stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still planning it out, so I haven't bought anything yet. I'm in the planning stages. You know what I mean? But
my live setup now, it all fits in a case that I can carry on to a plane.
That is my
and
goal.
that was my goal when I set out, and it's still enough stuff for me to play live, and I'm still doing something while I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I'm not dragging a bunch of shit out. I don't have to check anything when I'm flying with it. It's totally worth doing, basically getting the case that you want to use, and basically figuring out what fits where with foam and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I've turned down a lot of offers over the last couple of years because I couldn't figure out the logistics of it, and I didn't want to travel with a big ass modular or expensive gear, and so I just didn't do the shows because I wasn't in the right place to do them.
Right.
I'm trying to get things down to a single case that I don't have to worry too much about. Nothing super expensive.
Right.
The tracker would probably be the most expensive component in the setup.
Mine's right now is a tracker and a deluge and a mixer for them. And it's still, all fits within that small case. It's not I would be pissed if I lost it or something happened with it, but both of those are replaceable.
Yeah.
There's nothing precious in them. And it also doesn't weigh a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'll drag my modular out to local shows. Because fuck it, I bought it to use it.
Right.
And
I used to. That's the other part of this is I don't want no modular involved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna supplement. I'm gonna replace what I was using my modular for with pedals. You know what I mean? For the most part, with this setup, that's the plan. We'll see if I can actually do it. Because I just became way too reliant on the modular to be a lot of different things in my previous live setups.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to put some thought on this and just pretty much eliminate a modular altogether from my live setup.
Seems fair. Like I said, mine, I've local stuff, mostly modular, maybe with the deluge. Yeah. Anything where I'm leaving the city, I go with the small setup, and it's portable as shit.
Well, it's not just the cost factor. That is the biggest. It's just the anxiety of how expensive a modular is and how delicate it is, and hard to replace. But also just I guess the ruggedness of it. Even though I bought dope for portable cases, which were at the time the most rugged cases I could find. I don't know if they still are. I haven't been in the market for cases in a while, but even those they get bounced around, and I've had screws pop out of modules just from being, just from traveling, bumpy roads and shit, jostle things loose, and then you go to set it up, and you know what I mean? It doesn't.
I don't, because I got one of those IntelliGel 7Us.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's built like a fucking tank. I feel like I could throw that downstairs, and it would, no joke. I don't worry about that. I've never had a single problem with it.
Yeah.
Nothing ever got. It's all metal. Fucking wonderfully built. I see what you're saying. If I've made cases in the past, and they were really janky and just dog shit. And that would be like, okay, this is about to fall apart.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that. This is probably one of the more rugged things I've
Well,
owned.
the case has been rock solid. Like I have no complaints about the Dope for P cases, but it's just even in a case like that, I've had modules pop screws and shit is my point. So like at that point, I'm like, okay, these things just aren't meant to really be bounced around or traveled with. You know what I mean? It's too much anxiety for me.
That's fair.
And I'm already high strung enough, especially when it comes to shows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So like, I just don't want that factor to worry about, really. So
yeah, for me, it made it a lot simpler to think about a live set without having to put everything inside of a patch or how I'm going to integrate a modular to it. It's just the complexity just goes up so high.
And I used to enjoy that. Like
I used to too.
Yeah, I'm just not there these days.
I'm not either.
I also have been playing a lot more noise shows, and I think the criteria for that is 10 to 15 minutes. Putting it out there. If you're playing a noise set and you're playing more than 15 minutes, you're fucking up. No one wants to hear your fucking 45-minute noise set. That's my PSA. But I think like taking a modular out and doing something in that sort of setting, that I still absolutely fucking get a kick out of. I mean, I just did one like a week ago, and it was like I had a great time. I had a great time designing the patch, coming up with it, tinkering with it, like that. I still just get years later. I still get a kick out of it. I'm like, ooh, I made this sound. It sounds great, and I still love all of that. If I was going to do like a normal set, and try to use a modular, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
like it's so hard to get changes, even with a deluge or something that's controlling it. You're still really limited as to like how much dynamics you can introduce. So in that case, if it was even a local show where I'm doing like my normal set, I don't use modular anymore because it's so hard to integrate into these other things.
Yeah. If you want like discrete songs of any type, it's really hard to, you'll spend 3/4 of your time just figuring out how to do that.
Discernible tracks.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is exciting.
I'm trying to, there's a few requirements, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One is just complete mobility factor. The other is cost. I'm trying to keep it cheap. Just because A, I don't have a big budget right now. B, shows don't pay very well. And C,
hey, by very well, you mean at all?
Or at all, time to time. And just the anxiety of losing what you brought out, either getting stolen or someone spilling a beer on it, or you dropping it off a stage or whatever the fuck, you know. So I just don't want that extra stress. So I'm trying to keep this as stress-free, as mobile, and as cheap as possible.
So we've come up with grob. Is there something we can use from the series of words you just said? Turn that into a word too?
Oh, I'll have to give that some thought.
Yeah, we'll we'll come up with something.
What's that called when you do that?
An acronym?
Is it an acronym, or is it a maybe it is acronym.
It's when you take the initials and you make a word that you can say is an acronym. Otherwise, it's just initials.
Okay.
So like SCUBA is an acronym. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Holy shit.
Truth.
Next, you're going to tell me like sonar actually means something.
Okay, so what else is on other people's lists? Nick, we're back to you.
Back to me. Yeah, like Greg said, not much new. I guess new to me. We take you to the Waldorf corner for a while. Waldorf gear. I really fucking like. The first Waldorf thing I got was a micro Q rack in the early 2000s. I remember playing a show with it on a guitar strap.
Wait, what? No,
in someone's attic. Yeah.
Fuck, and I missed this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I don't think you were there for that one. That was Luke and I playing.
Oh, I am genuinely bummed I didn't see this. How'd it go?
It was okay, you know, for like a weird ass attic show. Fat Man D gave us props after.
Oh, that's for people outside of Pittsburgh who may not know who that is. That's actually a pretty big honor.
The first Ass Dragon was in an attic.
It was.
Yeah,
it was a killer
not
attic show.
far from this place, which was on Mount Oliver.
Oh, okay.
A little far back, where the Thelmites live, if you will. But yeah, Waldorf shit. I've always had a soft spot. I always liked wavetable stuff because of it. I had a Blofeld twice, which I sold twice. No regrets there. Kind of a love-hate with that thing, even though I've used it for some stuff. Waldorf M, people know I got one of those about almost a year ago now, or up to there. Still, like, that's probably still my favorite synth ever, especially with the latest updates, adding MPE and all that shit. Then it fell down a little bit of a wormhole because of that. And I saw like a really cheap NW1, which is their wavetable oscillator on Reverb. It was like $190.
That's what I had for a hot
Yeah,
minute.
which I kind of regretted
Eurorack
at the time.
module.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eurorack oscillator. Regretted not getting from you at the time, but I like didn't have space. It's a big boy.
That's why I got rid of it.
Yeah.
And it has a USB port for some fucking reason.
Oh no, it does to get samples onto
Yeah,
it
yeah,
if
but
you
it's
want
like,
to,
doesn't
which is
need to
very
be up there.
nice. It doesn't need to be there. I know you might hate it. Actually,
I just hate it
find
because it was
can be
taking up so much
convenient.
fucking space.
What I hate is that their software to connect to that is absolute fucking
Yeah.
trash. It's like barely will load. That's a whole other story. Got that. Really liked it, but like the M had me digging into more microwave stuff because it will emulate the microwave. The M is, supposed to emulate the microwave 1 to some extent, and we'll kind of get to that and their new thing. But the microwave 2, it had some of the DSP stuff in there, and like I kind of got it to work, but I couldn't quite. And I was like, is there a sweet spot here or not? And I really wanted to try Microwave 2 at one point. And you've probably seen the Microwave XT, which is the generally orange one, made of that fuzzy stuff that peels, has like 40 some knobs. The Microwave 2 is exactly that sound engine without the extra knobs at the bottom. When I realized that, I was like, okay, I've always wanted to try this thing. I got it. Like the encoders were super janky. It was like a really cheap one. I do love like a rescue synth and like bringing it back to life. I put new encoders in it, lifted some pads in the process, but like saved it. Works perfectly now. I fucking love editing it. The sound though, holy shit, I really like. It's one of my favorite synths ever. I think it's one of the easiest synths to program ever. It's got a nice mod matrix. It's like this perfect like. Somebody online said it like is a celebration of digital errors, and I will agree with that. Like the different filter types, like there's one, it's just like a sine of X function plus like a low pass filter, and that one is like really nasty and weird. I love the shitty, really like steppy filter emulations on there. When you modulate them, they're kind of smooth, but when you turn the knobs, it's like very steppy in that way. Like even though it came out right when the Access virus did, the Access virus is like smooth as silk. And this thing is like wavetable fucking insanity. Like I fucking love it. It's like number 2 synth for me ever. I'm so glad I got it. Cause at first I was like, all right, I want to see, can I replicate all this shit in the M already? Is this totally redundant? But if not, I'm going to like triangulate this Waldorf space. Right. And I'm like, fucking addicted to that shit right now. I've not even like patched my modular as a synth, but I run these two into the Exelon and then process it with like my modular right now is like effects and like 4 granular processors, and it's just like processing the fuck out of these, and it's like real fun. I love the way the LFO sounds when it's modulating an oscillator at audio rate on this. There's like really fucking, I don't know what the fuck they were doing at Waldorf in the 90s and early 2000s, but they made some crazy shit. And man, I just really love using those. Waldorf is so funny. They just did this really botched release of this Microwave 1 VST, which is still not officially out yet, even though they put it on Facebook on Sunday for like half the day describing the Microwave 1 plugin, which people were like, oh, cool. Like they're emulating the shittiness of some of the chips and the analog filters. They have 2 different variations, and it's like, okay, that might be the thing. This is interesting to me. But then they like pulled that back, but today they teased the same story about it twice on Instagram, but not like they're not announcing it still, because the thing on Facebook was like, oh, go buy it here at our website. It's not there on their website yet. So they've had this like botched rollout.
What the hell?
So they need you to be their social media manager.
I would do it.
Then you'll get that bonus you lost.
I can break their website so easily. If you log into your user area, it fucks up any other route on any of the navigation on the site right now to the point where you can't get anywhere unless you go back to the home screen so you can ditch your like route for your user stuff. I would design that shit for free. It's not like a crazy website. I would build that whole thing, but yeah, they're so funny because there's always like some technical thing that's weird on a Waldorf device, whether it's some like shitty software for the USB port that some people hate on a module or like something else that just doesn't quite work right. Microwave 2 goes fucking hard though.
I've played with one. I don't remember where.
Oh, yeah?
It might have been pianos and stuff back in the day. It was somewhere. Some music store had one. I think it was used, but it was like demoable, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember playing with it at the time and thinking how awesome it was. But for some reason, I just never bought one. And then eventually ended up buying the Virus TI.
Right.
Which I don't regret, but like we got a lot of mileage out of that thing with the Prometheus stuff. But yeah, the old Waldorf stuff has always still been tempting me over the years. I'm happy and excited to see you going down that rabbit hole because I just never have yet. And like, it's cool to see you, you know, kind of reaffirming to me that these things are awesome still.
I will say I've owned enough of their stuff now, and I've used the Nave iPad thing too, and I still have that, and that's pretty good. That's what the Eurorack oscillator is based off of. It's the same code as Nave, I think, but like extended. And I think of all the shit I've used, like it's this, of course all the stuff I have is the stuff I like, but like the M emulates that analog weight of the microwave with the wavetable stuff that you can get like such huge, like dramatic sounds. Like even though it's 4-part multi, like one M sound is so much in the mix unless you filter it out that it's like, I don't need 4 parts. And the Microwave 2 is like that kind of dark, but like filtered, like hi-fi pad stuff on top. I think those two are like the sweet spot of all their stuff. Like I'd love to use a Wave, but those are like unobtainium and they were like tens of thousands of dollars years ago. Microwave 1 rack, they're like $2,000, but that's what the M's emulating. It just has a better interface and is not like 30 years old. Because that's why they're doing this plugin because it's the 35th anniversary of the microwave.
Holy shit, 35.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah,
the Microwave 2 came out in 96 or 97, like right when the first Access virus did. So and it's funny because those two companies like used to be intermingled until Access split off because they made a microwave programmer. Access did. It was their first thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was a microwave programmer before they made the virus.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So
now they're competitors.
Yeah, I think some of that, I don't know exactly how it worked, but some of the same people like kind of worked there. They definitely didn't steal the filter code because they couldn't be more different. Like the virus nailed it like years before anybody else got like really good filters going.
Yeah, I mean, Virus is still a very strong synth today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, any of them.
Yep.
They're all incredible. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, that's Ed Rush and Optical. They named their record label after Virus.
And they all use these aging Motorola chips that are now extinct. And there's that emulator project. And they emulate the XT is the one they're working on now. But they just did the Micro Q and another one or something. Virus TI. It's like a bit perfect FPGA creation of the chips.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so you have to, it's kind of like the Game Boy thing where you have to get the ROM, like I can use it because I have the ROM from my TI I can download.
Yeah.
But if I would share that with you, that would be illegal technically, you know.
Hmm.
And they just cloned the Nord because the Nord's based off like the same family of these aging ass Motorola chips that everybody used back in the day. The Nord Lead 2, actually.
Ooh.
Oh, that was my favorite Nord.
Yeah.
They kind of sneak teased it on Matrix Synth, but it's not on their website yet. And there's a video of it, and I can't wait to try it. I couldn't get the microwave one to work the other day, but I put like 10 minutes into like getting it to load. I didn't like put in real effort. I want to get the microwave one running because
that'd be awesome.
That'd be sick to use for like live sets. If I could load a patch from my Microwave 2 onto that and it sounds perfect, holy fuck. Because I'm like, now if I played live, I would want to bring like one of the Waldorfs out. It kind of would be weird not to.
Yeah.
Because I use them so fucking much.
Would you get the strap that you used in that first show back out?
Luke would love that if I did.
If there's some way to actually encourage this, can we put like some kind of like Kickstarter or like how do we motivate you to do this?
You can be motivated with LARDibles, things like that, you know. But yeah, and there's a dude in Germany that makes like parts kits for the microwave too. So
Ooh.
that's how I got the encoders, and he sells like a capacitor like refresh kit too.
What's their name? Is it like Centaur or something?
Yeah, and it's not Centaur. It's like Synth Parts DE or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've gotten stuff from them in the past
Okay.
because they've made it for a couple other things that I had, and it was
Yeah.
so much more convenient than like sourcing all of them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
shipped it really quick too,
Yeah.
and it was like good price. And now I can like recap the thing. I don't think I'm going to yet because like
Mhm.
I don't want to like fucking solder on those old ass PCBs too much. You know?
Right.
Like it was rough doing the encoders. That halfway through it, I was like, oh god, like I could have just used like an editor, but I'm so glad I did
Yeah.
because I don't like using editors.
Me
I
neither.
just don't give a fuck about
But like all those pads you popped up, did you have to go in and like rewire some traces on
that.
your own?
No, I was able to like two of the encoder pads that lifted were right around the pin.
Hmm.
So I just kind of soldered it back together and it
Nice.
like kind of sandwiched together. No one's ever going to replace those encoders again. If I'm like still kicking it at like 60 when I need to, or like, I don't know, in the future, maybe I'll make new PCBs for it. That'd be a cool project.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into like, I want to keep these things living for as long as possible. I'm like super into it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of soldering, I sort of broke a record of mine. I built 3 synthesizer kits in one sitting,
Respect.
in one day.
Nerd.
I've only ever done 2.
I thought what you meant to say was champion. Champion. And
Triple header.
exactly.
No, that's badass. That would take me weeks.
I just got I had this is not something I planned to do. I just sat down and was like, I'm gonna do one of these.
Yeah.
And then just was like, fuck it, I'm in a groove. I'm in a mode. Let me do another one.
That's what I did too. It was the same thing. It was like, dude, I'm like in the game now.
Yeah.
Like load me up, bring another one, you know?
Totally concentrating. I'm not bored with this. Somehow my body doesn't
Just
hurt.
one bite of a LARDible.
Exactly. That's actually going to be my promotional bit for LARDibles. Just me holding onto a soldering iron. Like, just fucking wide-eyed, manic
Eyes all
looking.
dilated.
Holding on to the wrong end of a soldering iron, you know?
Licking it. So yeah, the 3 things I built were, and this is also, will maybe explain why I was able to get through them. I made one of the fader banks, the 16 X fader banks. You had also made one.
Oh yeah, those are sick.
They're awesome. It wasn't a bad build. It was
it's fun.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing piece of gear though. Totally, I got it with an intent. I'm going to use it like this, and 100% fit the bill.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rare. I feel like there's always something like, you're not doing exactly what I want.
Mhm.
That does exactly what I want. Absolutely.
Well, for the listener, what are these?
16N fader bank, which is made by
For MIDI?
it
or
does
CV?
MIDI, I2C, and CV
Yeah.
Okay.
simultaneously.
and it's
which is
just
dope.
one fader per channel, and then an output at the top.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it can be powered by USB, or you can rack it up as Euro rack.
Mhm.
So you have choices of how you want to power it, and it's tidy. It's as big as it needs to be
Yeah.
to have these 16. And there's one light,
Yeah, just status.
just for status. So it's not glaring or obnoxious.
Mhm.
Really straightforward.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
You
really
can powered off an IntelliGel USB tile too, and that's like real convenient.
So super high marks for that, and it was a fun build. And that's what got the ball rolling. And then after that, I made a Winter Bloom helium module.
Oh, the filter?
No,
Or-
this is just the malts.
Oh,
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, So I talked about that before. I do have the Winter Bloom filter.
Yeah.
I still fucking love it. I use it
Yeah.
all the time. It's
Nice.
it's fucking amazing. I really revisit that episode, the one I can't remember what the number of it was, where I talked about it.
49 maybe?
Probably 49.
Yes.
Go to
Big
49.
times.
It might be there. It's the Neptune. Is the
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
that filter. This was a little bit more basic, and I think that's why I was also like, "Oh man, this wasn't too long. This didn't take too long. Still got a little bit of juice. I'm gonna keep going." And I finished it up with the eMute MicroSeek. That's that weird live coding module.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I gotta admit, I've been playing a lot of shows recently. both like with the modular and then also with the a normal set with Tracker and Deluge. I haven't had time to dive into this. So this is a sneak preview of hopefully I'm going to get a little bit of time here coming up to try this, to give it a spin. As of right now, though, all I can say is the build, not bad. A lot of SMD parts, but most of them were already on the board.
Oh, okay.
And you had to do a couple of small bits, but real fucking easy.
How do you input the code?
It's USB-C.
And you just plug in a keyboard.
Yeah, there's a weird keyboard interface, but you can also do something with a screen. You have access to a screen. Again, I've not fucked with it yet, so I will answer all of these questions and more.
Yeah, I'm curious.
In episode 52. Stay tuned, dear listeners. And I guess another thing is, this is for the very small group of people out there that have a Leibniz binary subsystem. Everybody else, just cover your ears. This isn't for you. The Zeok Berlin, fucking amazing.
It's pronounced Chouse.
Zeok.
It's French.
Yeah, this is I'm not going to dive into it too much because everyone else who's not into this doesn't want to hear this.
I think you've been getting people on board.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely users in our Discord now that are on board.
Yeah, and that's who I'm talking to now.
Yeah, like
It's just
you're converting people.
I know
over time.
but it's like an underground thing. I need like some kind of like coded message for them.
Gotcha.
I know it's just for them.
Remember to drink your Ovaltine.
Yes. Or make it more
Leibniz.
like spy code, like the eagle lands at
You
midnight.
play like the sound that if you look at on a spectrograph, it'll outline like a URL to go to for a sub podcast. Just talk for 10 minutes.
Leibniz subsystem only.
Sorry,
podcast.
LARDibles kicking in.
Yes. The fucking Leibniz binary subsystem number station. Just Foxtrot Delta.
That'd be kind of sick.
Well, actually, yeah. But yeah, no, I don't want to dive too much into it because I feel listeners who are not interested in it are probably tired of hearing it. But if you are interested in it, get it. You won't regret it. Especially pair it up with a Jena or Jenna, the JENA wavetable. It's fucking amazing. I'm making.
What is the Berlin again?
It's their 20 plus octave oscillator that ties directly into the subsystem. So as an oscillator, it's actually not that interesting because it's just square wave and saw out.
Okay.
But because it's taking and sending as part of the Leibniz chain, the 8-bit binary data, and then processing it or actually becoming starting as a source to start the chain. It's part of that ecosystem for the subsystem. This is the first time they've had a dedicated oscillator because the Dresno could take in a sound source and take that for the ADC, and then you do a bunch of stuff, and then the DAC turns that binary data back into audio. You don't really need a Dresno in this case, but if you have one, you can do cool stuff with it.
And you can use it to like drive some of the data to be like wavetable oscillator, right?
Yeah,
that was the most impressive stuff I saw when I was like, oh shit, that sounds good.
Yeah,
and,
that's
it
the
seems like a necessary kind of piece of that system if you want to use it for audio in a way.
100%. Yeah, and that's what the JENA, the ANA is the wavetable. And so it's got banks and tables. This can drive that in a way that you normally would have to run something into Dresno to do, or through one of the other modules. This is now, you have the Berlin is an oscillator that does track volt per octave. So now you can play that, which then drives the wavetable synthesis. I posted a video of it, of my like the first like week of me screwing around with it, and I was just and I know we've talked about this in the past, that thing where you just kind of like you start giggling and you just put your hands up and go, oh, this is amazing. But right now, record this. I had a bunch of those moments with this, so I'm like, this is exciting, fucked up sounds that was I had not made in the past. So again, this is the end of the secret underground Leibniz community. So Greg,
yeah,
what do you got? Well, you're approaching this with the appropriate amount of enthusiasm.
Well, it's make noise.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted
So we
to
all know
open
what
up,
this is.
Yeah, I wanted to open up that can of worms. I didn't even write notes for it. I just
I
wrote
didn't either.
down make noise, QMMG again.
I'll start off.
Again.
I never had one.
Yeah.
It's always been.
And you'll never get one.
I never will. It's
It's gonna be impossible.
100%. I don't think it's truly manufactured scarcity. I think
I
there's
do.
a real reason why they've got an idea behind it and they're trying to stick with it.
Yeah.
There's something about the myth of the mythical nature of this instrument that is just
It's become a
so
meme at this
unappealing.
point.
It's
Yeah.
so unappealing.
Because it's been a thing forever too.
Yeah.
It's always like been kind of hard to get,
Yeah.
and like people always wanted it, and
Yeah.
the prices have been high for like a decade,
Yeah.
at least.
I've managed to get one at retail value twice. I got one on first release because I was actually
Same.
kind of digging Make Noise at that time, and just I don't know. Over time, I've just kind of drifted away from their stuff. But QMMG originally was a great value, and it was a staple in my live rig.
It's my second module. That's
it-
why I got it.
It was perfect for feedback mixing, you know what I mean? It had the filters, loved the high pass,
Yeah.
I remember hyping it up to you at the time,
Mhm.
because it was, in my opinion, it still is one of the best high passes that existed.
That's the part I miss.
Same. And, it was 4 channels and you had your sum out. So it was useful and versatile. But
Mhm.
over time, like there's been things that, can replace it, in my opinion, for the most
Yeah.
part. And the prices on these things just keep getting more and more expensive. And they keep doing these like half-assed releases every few years where they'll just put a few more into circulation. They're not adding anything new to it. They're not improving upon it. It's the same fucking module for over a decade now, but the price keeps going up and up
And they
up.
keep turning these releases into like these weird little events.
Yes.
And I think that's the part that's just like eye rolling for me. Like,
Super
It's like-
exclusive.
yeah, it's like a Tickle Me Elmo. Like it's fucking like this is.
it's a Beanie Baby for
Yeah,
modular nerds.
and that-
like,
There's something very disingenuous about the way this is being presented. It's just like it feels like it's so much unnecessary hype to get that like people fired up for it. Like it
Yeah.
feels like it is designed to light up the internet, and it's just
no one out there needs or wants to spend $3,000 on a basic low pass gate filter.
But I mean,
Like, and that's what they're going up to on Reverb because of the
Yeah.
scarcity of them.
this re-release is
Yeah.
going to be what is it, 700? They're shooting for?
Oh, I didn't even see it was that many.
Yeah,
Wow.
I thought it was less than that, but
No, the price. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's $6.99.
yeah. So I mean, like this maybe will address some of that price gouging in the secondary market by introducing some new ones. There is now a chance to get one at a more reasonable price.
It won't, dude. When I bought one from the last time they did a limited release like this, I had someone offer me money to stand in the line, and I was like, no.
See, this is like that's like the type of shit you hear about, like with that stupid sneaker culture shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which
And
we've
I-
talked about in the past
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how modules can be going that route.
Yeah.
We've walked a dangerous line over the last couple of years to becoming that, and this just pushes that, in that
Yeah.
direction even further. Like next thing you know, we're going to be doing raffles.
Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean, and all this shit just to get a module. And it's like, I don't know. I've never been a collector.
Yeah.
Like I've always bought shit to use it, and because it's either useful, or it fits my needs for an album or for performance. I've never wanted to get a module just because it's scarce,
yeah.
Yeah.
and to dickwag that you have one, and
I've
then
never
post
really-
it up on Reverb at
Yeah.
$4,000 just to.
I've never really understood that too, especially because it's I guess Instagram has changed this calculus a little, but to me it was always like I don't post pictures of this shit. Like
Right.
I do a little bit on the SysEx
I do
dumpster.
less and less. I haven't posted on Instagram of my
Yeah.
shit in a while because I don't want it to be interpreted. The thing that really turned me off from doing it was the last time when I posted a video of the VanEck.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
I had
yeah.
people like harassing me
Oh, yeah.
to
that was
give
the
them
thing.
information about when the
Yeah.
X would come out, or
Yeah.
if I would sell them, the one I used in my video,
Yeah.
and why don't I have one now? You know what I mean? It just opened up so many weird communications from strangers that I was uncomfortable with, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't really need to share what gear I'm using right now or jamming on.
Yeah.
It's
But
kind
for
of
me-
killed it for me.
But for me, it was just mostly like, since I don't participate in that, the idea of getting something just for the flex is
Yeah.
incomprehensible. Like, it's
Sure.
just like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, who am I impressing? I got 3 cats. They don't give a shit. Like, is so like that.
Are you
that
sure?
maybe, yeah. But yeah, like that mentality is very hard for me to just wrap my head around, because it's just like, this is taking up rack space. This, like, if I didn't buy this to use it, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never had a QMMG, so maybe I would get something out of it. The thing I keep coming back to, though, is like, I'm getting by without one. I've gotten by
Sure.
for a long time without one.
When it came
Maybe
out,
I don't need it.
that was unique. There really
Yeah.
wasn't a low pass gauge.
No, it
Yeah.
was so
in
coveted.
Euro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People wanted the Buchla Bongo sound
Yeah.
too, which when you get it, you hit a point where you're like, all right, what am I going to do with this musically? Or did
Yeah.
I just fetishize this thing that I couldn't
Yeah.
do?
But we're
Yeah.
in the year 2024 now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, a QMMG isn't necessary or innovative at this point. And
Yeah.
so to hype it up is such like a scarce thing. And
I would argue that Pittsburgh's Michael Johnson emulated Vactrols pretty well just with regular solid state components. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that I think they did kind of right. Like, I think that shit is truly overhyped in that way, where
Yeah.
it's just this thing that is built up as a myth more than is like,
Yeah.
is that really the thing? Because like you said, they tried, like they did the MMG. That was famously like not quite the thing. If it would have been
Mhm.
the thing, I think the hype would have been killed down a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that they're putting them out. I kind of wish they would have just like dropped it and not said anything,
Yeah.
and then it would have
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
little more even playing field.
Like, don't make it such an event.
Like-
It felt like too much. Like, pretend like you've done this before. I think is the thing. Like
Yeah.
that, they always talk about that. Like professional athletes. Like, you score a touchdown, act like you've been there before. This could have been that, but the fact that it was like the internet equivalent of like the silly guys that are out front of like car
Right.
dealerships that
wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
exactly, that is what that's how that came across to me, is look over here, like, all right, calm down.
And that's what happens when you get like a marketing person that's
Yeah.
paid to do
Yeah.
this thing, and it becomes, they get trained certain ways, and I get it, but like, I love that they're doing it. I think the price is fair given things, but
Yeah.
maybe it could have been tweaked a little how it happened.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah,
it's definitely not
I
all
think the
that.
price is kind of insane, personally.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
$700 for just basically 4 low pass gates.
I get it,
and
though.
a basic filter.
well, what did it used to
mixer.
be?
$390.
$399, which at the time was a lot, but there was nothing else like it on the market, so it was kind of justifiable. So now it's almost double the price, and there's a lot of alternatives.
Shit is just generally more expensive. That isn't the price increase that I'm like. That's a reasonable price.
Back in the day, Dave, I used to get a soda for a nickel. All right.
Yes, those days are gone. Unless you
Yeah.
find that weird Star Wars Episode 1 Pepsi machine.
Well, I feel like if you're going to go through the trouble of re-releasing it and making it that expensive, at least add to it. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I don't know,
Mhm.
make it a little more innovative. Add to it. Make it something new,
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah,
instead
or
of-
just make duels, make twice as many duels at like a more
That would've been
reasonable
really cool.
price, because you don't need fucking 4 of them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like 2 at the most, and you have like a synthesizer right there. Or if you want to chain low pass, high pass, and do some,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to pay that money for that, knowing what Vactrols are like too, and like, it's just not that exciting.
Right.
Yeah. See, I didn't really want to rant or shit on it too much. I just
I don't
wanted
think we
to,
did.
I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
my goal to be like, meh, but
There was a little bit of
a little bit of.
There was
meh.
a little bit.
I was like, meh.
That's better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't like that deep throated. It was more.
I wasn't. Didn't want to full on yell at the cloud. You know. What I mean, clouds. But,
So, is there anything else on your list?
NobCon coming up,
It
and,
is.
and our favorite mad scientist, Paul Schreiber, is not only returning, but he's going to be speaking at the banquet.
What if it's book time? I think he said he was going to do this when the book was ready.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about that. And it's been a while since we interviewed him.
Yeah, what was that, a year and a half ago?
If you've missed our interview with legendary synthesizer
Mad scientist
Paul Schreiber. I think it was episode 45.
something like that. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Go to 45, listen to that, and if you don't hear Paul Schreiber, go one episode back or one episode forward.
Just listen to our entire playlist until you find the episode with Paul Schreiber.
This is just me artificially inflating our numbers.
Spend a couple of days of your life being dumpster complete. Trust me.
I am bummed. I don't think I'm going to NobCon, and but I would like to. It would be cool to go say hi to him, and you know, but I don't want to go to the banquet either, so I would miss that too.
Mm-mm.
I was considering it would be the first time I've done the banquet, but then I decided I'm probably not going either. For a couple of reasons. I'm just kind of out of vacation time at this point after France. I'm also out of money. So, so it's not like I'd be going there to take advantage of any deals.
Right.
And there's just nothing on the horizon that I'm super hyped about right now. So going to a big convention and risking getting COVID just doesn't sound all that appealing to me. And driving, 9 hours to get there also.
That was the thing. Like, I'm rolling the dice with COVID all the time. I just keep going to shows, and I'm just like,
look at me, I'm Dave with my big, strong immune system.
No, it's entirely luck. I've just dodged that bullet. Like, even just recently, like, I went to fucking Skullfest. Statistically speaking, I should have gotten COVID and other things like scabies or like who knows what else.
Shingles.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the fact that I walked out of that unscathed
Lice.
is 100% yes.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of going just one. I want to see maybe people are going to announce stuff at it. Seems unlikely.
I was just gonna. I almost just said way too much information. So I'm gonna. Well, okay. I did catch a little something from someone who was at Skullfest last year. And I'm gonna scale that back and just not talk about that. But, yeah.
So if you join our SysEx Dumpster Discord, you can ask Greg directly what he's talking about and maybe get the inside scoop.
For only $5 a month.
You can find out what he got at Skullfest last year.